Alright. No data yet. There we go. We got the green light. We're on. Cool. Yeah. I just need to make sure. Pull that up. Alright. Oh, shit. Wow. Uh, Alright. Oh, shit. There's another update to that one. Hold on. Mute you per second. Those of you watching this after the fact, good lord, I am figuring out what exactly I am doing on here. And I need to look for another article because something just popped up. Um, da, da, um, and I can't find it. Maybe if we do response, you got me. Um, Whatever. You know what? We will go on to the update whenever. We are just going to jump straight into um this. Okay, so I have to record this two different. Well, I have to do this two different ways. One, this is a live stream. I'm going to be doing this thing live every Wednesday, hopefully, where I go on for an hour or two and I discuss what are the big topics of MMA. You guys who jump in here, you can give me your thoughts, and we can just, talk about whatever's going on, shoot the shit, and all that. So, two things I did today. I did my predictions. Maybe we'll go over the card a little bit at the end. We're gonna cover the BJ Penn thing. The fact that he is now going in for this mental health exam. And yeah, so I'm going to read it here. I have a feeling I'm going to read this multiple times in the stream. Well, okay. BJ Penn breaks silence after fourth arrest, mental health test, my ass. Former two-division UFC champion BJ Penn broke his silence after being arrested 4 times in the span of 2 weeks. Last Tuesday, former two-division UFC champion BJ Penn appeared in court where a Hawaii judge ordered him to vacate the home. He shares with his 79-year-old mother, Lorraine Shin, however you say it. The judge also extended the protective order against Penn brought by Shin until November 23rd, which I believe is 5 or 6 months now. 2 days later, on Thursday, Penn was detained for violating the restraining order. Penn was arrested last month and charged with abuse of a family or abuse of a family or household member. Days later, he was arrested for the same charges within the same week. The prodigy was detained and again for failure to appear. Penn believes that his family has been taken out and replaced by imposters in an effort to steal his assets in court. On last Friday, Penn told the judge that Shin was not his family and questioned why the case was in criminal family court. And that is the biggest thing I need to point out here. Civil court, criminal court. This is a mix of both because He's violating a restraining order against a family member. He's been physical, which can lead to a actual criminal conviction. But from what his mom is saying, she is going for a civil suit. She wants BJ Penn to get help, not go to jail. She believes Penn is suffering from a condition called Capgras delusional syndrome and wants him to be in court. Wants him to be court ordered to get medical treatment or other sorts of therapy. I believe my son, BJ Penn, is suffering from Capgras delusional syndrome, a psychiatric order in which a person holds a delusion that a friend, spouse, parent, or other close family member has been replaced by an identical imposter. He believes I'm an imposter who killed his family to gain control of the family assets, she wrote in a statement following her son's May 25th arrest. In the best interest for my safety, I asked the court for a 6-month temporary restraining order and have my son ordered to get medical treatment or other sorts of therapy. This is something I did not put out in my video. She is putting a deadline on this restraining order. She doesn't want BJ Penn to be prevented from ever contacting her, ever hanging out with her, or communicating with her. She is a mom that wants her son to get treatment that he desperately needs right now. And, we'll go through his Instagram. It's going to be a bit funny. It's also going to be very sad. Um, Then we have the response to BJ Penn, which I will play after we read the caption. Mental health test my ass. You don't have to believe Albert Einstein to pass a mental health. You don't have to be Albert Einstein, to pass a mental health exam. To beat a mental health exam, just say that you're not depressed and feel like unaliving yourself, or that you drink every day or do substances every day, and boom, you're not crazy. Now, we're gonna go over here. Um, Once again, he always goes with this red text, the red and white text. I've been doing that before BJ Penn. I've been doing that before BJ Penn. Um, but it is something that kinda has got to my head a little bit. Like I've been using the red and white. I've been mixing it up now. I'm seeing, if the color, if the font does anything. You know how it is. Minor tweaking and that. But he's going on President George Bush now. Which, if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure both of them are past. No, each died. W was alive, right? I think he is. Let's look it up. George. Um, George Bush. Oh yeah, the younger one is still around. So yeah, we are going to play this video now.
But they'll have to wait until
I had no idea.
public defense.
I read an interesting and kind of humorous story about a meeting you had with President George H.W. Bush.
So it was Brent Scowcroft, John Sununu, Bob Gates, Dan Quayle came in, and I was there wearing a mask. It was the end of a 10-year R&D program to develop that mask. So I briefed the president, and he did not know. But I must.
So he's bringing up these masks that the government were using as a way for a disguise to go undercover. And that is basically what he is accusing the government of doing with his mom, his brother, his friends, his family, and all that. And they are out for his wealth. And if you guys remember, he ran for governor of Hawaii back in, was it 2021, 2022, around there. But yeah, let's continue the video more.
Say, when I took it off, he loved it. I always thought he was a very emotionally kind of flat guy on a TV screen. Well, he was not emotionally flat. He thought this was very fun. And the White House photographer who had been in there the whole time, she came out and said, "Excuse me, what did you do?" And I said, "I can't tell you, it's classified."
So, now that I've watched it over once again, I get what he's going for, right? Where the government we know, the CIA, FBI, all these intelligence agencies, disguises undercover work that has been a part of all of these organizations the entire time they've been around, right? And you know, there is some plausibility to this, right? Because he ran for governor, he got absolutely washed. I believe, like, the guy who beat him in, I think it was just the primary, it was like 71% of the votes went to that guy. And these issues of BJ Penn have always been around, right? He, multiple substance abuse arrests, multiple for, uh, multiple, multiple possession, multiple use arrests, a lot of fights, and then you had the main ones, which is the situation that happened with his family, his ex and his kids, were the allegations that were he was abusing them, and there were multiple kinds of abuse listed. So basically, from my point of view, this is a guy that has been abusing substances for years, right? And, you know, when you're using any kind of recreational drug, it doesn't necessarily cause issues, it just brings them to light, right? So, you know, say you're young, you have bipolar, ADHD, one of these underlying health conditions, and you end up getting addicted to weed or, I don't know, whatever drug of choice. When you are under the influence, those substances, because of what they do to your brain, can bring out all of these underlying conditions, and it's a very intense way of it being brought out, like what we're seeing with BJ Penn, where he is constantly posting on this Instagram, right? Like, let's just go to his main page and let's just see, the time, if you know, ever to load. Hello. Here we go. Oh, we even have a new video. Let's see.
What's up? I'm at the courthouse right now. Gonna head in, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Of course, the court can do whatever it wants. This is for the TRO thing, and had this thing that I want to read over there, but we'll see how it goes. The day before the TRO incident, I had a great talk with the woman who put the TRO on me. I will refer to them as fake Lorraine and fake Judy, In that conversation, we were talking about dropping all of the charges for the TRO and moving forward with the business side and giving me my fair share of the money that I put into my family's companies. I texted GD and let him know that I was going back to my room, being that the hotel cost was expensive. He didn't say no, don't go, and I was under the impression that I could return to the property because we had such a great conversation. I went to take my clothes to the house, and the house sitter that was there called fake Lorraine, and they told me they didn't take the TRO off. So I left the house and continued to speak with Lorraine. Lorraine asked me if I did follow up with my mental health exam assessment, and I told her I did and showed her the doctor's notes, and I didn't qualify for any of the state's mental health programs. While talking to Lorraine by Big Hockey Apartments, the officers came and arrested me. Both Lorraine and JD told officers that it was a big misunderstanding for me to return to the house and asked the officers to not arrest me. You can use the police body cameras as evidence, as well as them speaking to.
I want to point out that shake right there. I want to point out him shaking his arm. That happened to me. That happened to me when I went on Abilify. That happened to me when I was in my psychosis. The random twitching. I even do it during my videos. I have cerebral palsy. For those of you that don't know, right? And when I took Abilify, one of the main symptoms was it makes you want to jump out of your skin. A very, very weird symptom from an antipsychotic, right? So it'll calm your brain down. But physically, I felt completely psychotic. I felt like I wanted to jump off the walls. I wanted to go hurt people. I wanted to do all these things. And still to this day, I think that drug is the worst drug to ever be made. Up there with methamphetamine. And that's a very common prescription now. There's pills, there's shots, there's probably, other methods of getting the medication in your system. But I'm heavily against it. I'm heavily against it. It is currently being mass prescribed to a lot of people who go through psychosis and all of that. And I have not really met anybody that drug has actually helped. But let's continue.
To Lorraine. So yeah, they knew is why. I was just there to drop off clothes because of a good conversation. But just want to put this up. Never know what could happen when I get in that courtroom. What's up, everybody? What's up?
Okay. So, I really wish I checked his Instagram before I recorded. Yeah. Well, like I pointed out, when he was, okay, well, let's just go back to where he does
What's
shake.
up, everybody? What's up?
So I was trying to, really point out the jump in his arm, right? I'm doing it right now, where he did this. It's when he slipped down. I might as well. Let's rest and do it again. Why not?
The TRO thing, and had this thing that I want to read over there, but we'll see how it goes. The day before the TRO incident, I had a great talk with the woman who put the TRO on me. I will refer to them as fake Lorraine and fake GD. In that conversation, we were talking about dropping all of the charges for the TRO and moving forward with the business side and giving me my fair share of the money that I put into my family's companies. I texted GD and let him know that I was going back to my room, being that the hotel cost was expensive. He didn't say no, don't go, and I was under the impression that I could return to the property because we had such a...
Okay. I didn't hear that part either. His brother JD said, "You can come get his stuff. Or you can come get your stuff." BJ Penn took that as, "Hey, you can come back. Come back. We'll figure this out." But his family at the time was not ready for that. And I'm kind of guessing here that had to do with the one video where they're outside by the SUV. You see BJ Penn flashing his wife light, and then you had the part where his wife or his mom Lorraine was like, hit me, Reagan." Like, honestly, that video even lives in my head because of what I've been through in my own psychosis, right? But again, miscommunication right there from both sides. I'm not going to really put that on either of them.
A great conversation. I went to take my clothes to the house, and the house sitter that was there called fake Lorraine, and they told me they didn't take the TRO off. So I left.
So they didn't take the TRO off, the restraining order. Yeah, it's temporary restraining order, right? So that's what stemmed that arrest. And I feel like the more BJ Penn is under arrest, is under evaluation. My doctor even told me this when I was going through mine, and she always would say, "You're going to get clarity in the next week. You're going to get clarity," and she always said that to me. And over time, I was, it was like whether it was the drugs coming out of my system, whether it was me, you know, actually, coming back to it, I did get clarity. And it is important, to not, do whatever your poison is, um, daily. Like a substance or an activity shouldn't consume you. You should be the one doing the drug, not the drug is doing you.
The house and continued to speak with Lorraine. Lorraine asked me if I did follow up with my mental health exam assessment, and I told her I did and showed her the doctor's notes, and I didn't qualify for any of the state's mental health programs.
He didn't qualify probably because he is rich, he has his own finances, and typically those services are meant for low income people. Low income addicts who don't have the supports that BJ Penn has, does not have the wealth that BJ Penn has. Very typical.
While talking to Lorraine by Big Hockey Apartments, the officers came and arrested me. Both Lorraine and JD told officers that it was a big misunderstanding for me to return to the house and asked the officers to not arrest me. You can use the police.
So even they said, "Hey, it was a mistake, miscommunication, don't arrest them."
Body cameras as evidence as well.
Again, I want to point out that Jake, that comes from psychosis. That comes from the substance that he is using.
As them speaking to Lorraine. So yeah, they knew is why. I was just there to drop off clothes because of a good conversation. But just want to put this up. Never know what could happen when I get in that courtroom. What's up, everybody?
Okay, so once again, where we're at in that is that video is actually the best video I've seen BJ Penn post. I'm gonna do a short after I get off of here. showing that. That's the clarity is coming in. Now, what is this probably
Anyone's best interest.
okay, we'll listen to it after. But we have Happy Father's Day from Child Welfare Services. After hundreds of CPS reports, 20 TROs, 4 that lies that Penn passed off as growing pains. The last straw was Penn took the 16-year-old daughter and her friends to Waikowai, and 3 days later, the 16-year-old tries to set BJ Penn up to beat up her and her boyfriend and get Penn arrested. Because the 16-year-old says, I make $20K if I get you in jail today. Penn, BJ Penn Fowler says, I never treated or talked to my father like this. We have to take a DNA test. Then the kid put on a 3 to 5 year TRO to avoid taking the DNA test. BJ Penn talking with CPS. Okay, so he's talking with CPS in this video.
That the kids don't come and get a DNA test for me? Is it in our best interest? Is it in your best interest? Is it in Shay's best interest? What's the real reason that we don't want me to see the kid for not only 1 year, we're talking 3 years?
That's not us. It's the
But it's us supporting it, right? You're supporting this though.
How am I supporting?
By writing that you support it on the thing.
We're mandated from the court to write a report.
But you guys can't make your own opinion. You always got to write the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys cannot choose. You guys can't make opinions in there.
We don't do custody. We're not custody evaluated.
So how with my taxes, how do I get a benefit from you? If I pay money to the state and whatever, 30% or 50% of my money, whatever it is,
Yeah.
how does CPS help the father
Oh, I mean,
with the money that we're spending for the government to help us?
What would you do if you were in his shoes right now?
I asked him that. Yeah. What would you do?
It's that fucking guy. It's that fucking guy. It's the same fucking guy who was there when he got arrested. That fucking guy is not helping you, BJ Penn. That guy is not helping you. Get him out of your fucking life. Mr. fucking Chicago. Let's see what this dickweed has to fucking say.
I'm screwed.
That's
I'm
more
fucked
of a
up.
legal
I'm
question.
effed. Am I effed?
Yeah.
I'm effed right now?
That's more of a legal question I cannot answer for you.
Do you guys have a legal person in house?
No, I mean, no.
See, this thing on December 20th, and they had already run away the last time he saw them was December 3rd. So this, on December 20th.
Yeah, that's when we got the report.
Yeah, and so he has had no really contact other than that. They have been calling him,
Okay.
talking to their father, very
Okay.
happy. But it's not in there, it shows all these things, but you can see.
Do you want to help us? You said yesterday I was a good father. What did you mean when you said that? What did you mean by those words? I know you're a good father. What did you mean when you said that?
You raise our girls?
Yeah. So what does that mean?
I mean, so we're not assessing throughout your lifetime. I mean, I'm just this.
So you're saying you can't go back on this, is what you're saying, and that's why I kind of asked that death row question. Somebody's walking down. You just got that evidence that they didn't kill whoever they're gonna be.
Okay, there's a wild example to make, a wild comparison to make. But I don't know what all happened in this situation. I've only heard the rumors. Again, I'm kind of seeing that clarity from BJ Penn from these videos. And I think it has to do with him sobering up.
Put to death for, do you run it or do you say, oh, it was last month, they turned in my papers, so who cares? Is it one of those situations? What do you think?
So we have court coming up, and
What
court
is the date? Is it May 20?
question. So at this
Who
point,
are we protecting? I mean, is it in anyone's best interest that the kids don't come and get a DNA test for me? Is it in our best interest? Is it in your best interest? Is it in Shay's best interest? What's the real reason that we don't want me to see the kid for not only 1 year, we're talking 3 years?
that's not us. It's the
But
two-year-old.
This is because like you guys see it, right? You guys see the difference from BJ Penn over the weeks to the BJ Penn that we're hearing in these videos. Fuck, I'm gonna have to make another fucking video on this. Yeah, I hate it. I genuinely do hate it. I want to cover MMA. I don't want to cover legal cases. I don't want to be the one, talking about mental health. But again, nobody else is. I kind of feel like I'm the only one here willing to step up and say, hey, I've been through this. I know what's going on. This is a slippery situation. This is a situation where I think in a few weeks, when BJ Penn's system is clean, we're gonna see a different version of BJ Penn.
It's us supporting it, right? You're supporting this though.
How am I supporting?
By writing that you support it on the thing.
We're mandated from the court to write a report.
But you guys can't make your own opinion. You always gotta write the same thing.
But
Yeah, you guys cannot choose. You guys can't make opinions in there.
We don't do custody. We're not custody evaluation.
So how with my taxes, how do I get a benefit from you? If I pay money to the state and whatever, 30%.
Okay, so we're just listening to the same thing, but again, I really wish I checked his Instagram before I recorded. You see the clarity, right?
Sorry, but one thing you must understand about life is the balance of life. For all the good, there must be an equal and opposite reaction. Personally, it seems like you wouldn't want to do any good living, because you'll have to live the bad. We have no choice on this. That's why they call it up the yin yang. But the facts is that you don't know the sweet without the sour. You have to do the good and you have to improve in the bad. And like Apollo Creed said, without some challenge, without some war, the fighter may as well be dead. Do all the good you can and improve on the bad when it comes. Sorry, but one thing you must understand about life is the balance of life.
Damn, dude. You know, I should have looked at these before, man, but fuck. Because I look at BJ Penn, right? Then I look at his situation. Now we're getting these videos where it's a more concise BJ Penn. It's a BJ Penn that's straight to the point. That isn't just rambling on and on. It's but yeah. Basically, I will say this and then we'll move on to the funner topics. So with BJ Penn right now, he's sobering up. And the thing with meth is it's one hell of a thing to beat, but the damage does not go away. the jitters that I pointed out in that video, those are only gonna get worse, especially because they are going to be putting him on antipsychotics. I'm willing to bet they throw him on Abilify at least for a little bit. But yeah, man, even as a 46-year-old man, he's still putting his life together, right? And yeah, dude, I'm gonna have to record another update after recording mine today. But I want to move on to the next topic I want to cover, and that is Conor McGregor punching another person in a nightclub. Now, this surfaced around a day or two ago. Conor McGregor caught on video knocking out a man in Ibiza nightclub. I'm gonna do a video on this. I might even do it tomorrow. So those of you that are watching this, you're getting a preview. So if you guys don't know what happened, another video came out of him punching some kid in a nightclub. Conor McGregor's only fights continue to come outside the cage. Footage emerged Tuesday of the former UFC two division champ twice punching a man twice in an Ibiza nightclub. In the video, which was first published by The Sun, McGregor can be seen speaking with an unidentified man from an elevated position before throwing two left hands in rapid succession with the second punch, sending the man reeling to the floor of the Patrick nightclub. The Sun reported that the altercation occurred at 5:53 a.m. and that McGregor was permitted to stay while the victim of his punches was thrown out of the club. No arrests were reportedly made at the scene. Damn, I didn't know that. So McGregor punched a guy twice and he gets thrown out. That's kind of sick. That's kind of badass. For those of you that haven't seen this video yet, let's get that underway. Let me just go over here once again. And yeah, okay. Get that out of here. So you see Conor on a nightclub, and this guy right here. This is the guy you need to pay attention to. 1, 2, 2 hooks to the face. Why not go for the instant replay? I missed it. 1, 2. Okay, so they're just replaying it over and over again. But I think that's Connor's boys coming up behind him. I don't know, maybe a bouncer. The Irish fighter is seen talking to the man before putting his arm around his shoulders. I really want to hear what he says. After the pair chat for less than 10 seconds, McGregor strikes the man next to his pal with his left hand while holding a glass of booze in his right. Ooh, it even got slow motion. Damn, both of those are on the chin. Maybe Conor does have it still. McGregor's then shielded by both goers by his own friends. The short but violent scrap unfolded at 5:53 a.m. after McGregor, who hasn't fought since 2021, had spent the night partying with his huge entourage. Alright, so, okay, now, this is quite a transition to make, isn't it? But this video came out a few days ago, and nobody's shocked by this. Nobody is shocked by how Conor McGregor is acting in a nightclub. Um, Again, dude, this guy just got hit with the worst accusations you can get as a man, right? And, you know, I said this months ago. I wanted Conor McGregor to sign a fight purely for the press tour, where it will be him for the first time since 2021, focused on a camp in front of the media, and you know, I'm gonna compare it to John Jones, right? Where John Jones also has had his issues while he partied, while he did all that, but you know, it's obviously we need to know what happened. We need to know why Conor. I already missed it. We need to know what provoked Conor to throw that 1-2 hook combination at a random kid. Oh, man, I don't know, dude. Maybe Conor's too far gone. Like, he's 36. He's 36, right? And you have to factor that in because as men, guys, we mature much slower than women. It's just a fact about life. Most of us are lunatics until probably our 30s. I'm 21. I got 9 more years being a lunatic. But again, man, it's sad to see the biggest ambassador of this sport go out like this, right? Where, you know, he could have came back and fought Michael Chandler. Apparently he broke his toe. And even if he lost to Michael Chandler, the fact that this guy did what he did for the UFC, nobody will ever do what Conor did for the UFC the same way. So somebody may come along and become a bigger star than Conor, sell more pay-per-views, do all of that. But you have to look at it as when Conor came around, GSP left, Silva lost to Weidman, lost his belt. Jose Aldo ended up losing his belt to Conor. So Conor and Ronda really were the two fighters that the UFC were confident enough into promoting because they knew that they would stay on top. They knew that they would sell. They knew that. Okay. They also knew the guys that they were putting Conor with and putting Ronda with could take the ball if they want and run with it, right? That's the business we have. A star fights another star, the winner gets everything, they move on, they go fight another person. Dustin Poirier was the last guy to really do it, right? Dustin Poirier was the guy who broke his leg. Conor would never fight the same again if he did. You know, the titanium shin bone. But yeah, it sucks, man. It really does. But I don't think this is the worst thing he's done. I think he'll probably do more things like this. And yeah. Once again, I want to step all over my video for tomorrow, but I'm going to basically go more into, or at least try to go into the psychology of Conor McGregor. Because again, most of these guys, they're reaching the top when they're young. Early 20s, mid 20s, $100 million. When this guy was on welfare for how many years of his life, you know, was raising his kids, was with D, and he decided, I'm going to gamble everything I have in cage fighting. And it hasn't worked out better for any other person besides Dana White and the Fertitta brothers and the management of the UFC, who have probably racked up hundreds of dollars. I don't know, man. This may just be the Conor we have now. This may be about, his gimmick. We don't know what happened, what was said. But again, dude, you're a 36-year-old man. You're a father of 4. You're married. You should be maturing. You shouldn't be in nightclubs. And I get it. I'm not really a party person. I hate public crowds. That's why I like doing YouTube, right? Where, it's public, anybody can watch them. But again, it's me on my own, talking to a camera, sitting at a desk, and getting my point across. So, maybe if I was a social person, maybe if I viewed it a different way, you know, I would maybe see from Connor's point of view more clear. But the point of view that I have as somebody who came for himself and other people's shoes is a guy that got a shitload of money and had no idea. Well, no. He got a shitload of money. He's managing it. He managed it really well. He nearly made $1 billion with Proper 12. And when all this stuff happened, he still got a massive payout, right? But like, this guy should be coming around. He's promoting BKFC now that he's a co-owner. It would be nice to see Conor in the crowds. It'd be nice to see Conor come up at the press conferences. Maybe have Conor McGregor host a press conference. Uh, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I will have to talk more about that tomorrow. And then when also too, I should throw this in there. This is a little one. Sean O'Malley, Cody Garbrandt going at each other. I made a little short about this. Cody Garbrandt made some comments after UFC 316, and Sean O'Malley returned the favor. He said, or Garbrandt said about Sean O'Malley, he should have kept smoking because he looked like shit. But yeah, whatever he had to do. Sometimes you lose and you try to reinvent yourself and you find yourself. And at the end of the day, man, you know who you are. You know what you gotta do. That's a fight that I'm interested in. I think that's a huge pay-per-view sale fight, Sean and I. I think it would have been like years and years ago, maybe right after the TJ fight. I don't see that going down really good at all for Cody Garbrandt. But again, I love the trash talk. It gives us something to talk about. That's not BJ Penn losing his mind and Nick Diaz in rehab. Um, but yeah, I thought this is a little fun beef to look at. And now, to end this off, I uploaded my predictions today. I'm just gonna go through them. So it goes through the card, to end this live stream, and yeah. Then we're gonna go to the gym and do all that stuff. So you got let's start with the opening fight. Muhammad Usman versus Hamdi Abdelwahib. We know Hamdi popped, got suspended. He won his last fight against. I might as well pull it up. He won his last fight against Jamal Pogues by split decision. Muhammad Usman is on a two-fight losing streak to Thomas Peterson and Mick Parkin. Are they the best heavyweights? No. By a long shot, no. But I don't know. Obviously, his brother Kamal Usman now looking to get his welterweight title back. I lean towards Usman. I think that he has a better camp. He has better fighters around him, and I think that he's just more skilled than Hamdi. What's next here? We got Tagir Olenbekov versus Azat Maxim. Come on. So, Olenbekov is a part of the Khabib team on a 3-fight winning streak. Lost to Tim Elliott by unanimous decision. You got Maxim, who just lost to Charles Johnson, one of the better fighters in the flyweight division. Has a lot of good wins. Knocked out Josh Van. Tyson Nami beat by split decision. Fabricio Nunez. Alan Gabriel as that Carbeck. I think going back off takes this. I think that the Dagestani fighters cheat, and their camps are just too good. Irina Alexei, I'm going to go. Irina, Melissa Moen beat Daria. Nadia versus Park is an interesting fight. We obviously know Young Park was on a good run before losing a split decision to Andre Muniz. You got Nadia who beat Bruno Silva in his last fight. Got a win by guillotine over in Brave. Got knocked out and submitted back to back, and had another knockout. I like Young Park. I think this should be a fun fight. We'll see. We'll see. I like giving fighters at least a few fights in the UFC until I'm starting, because you watch whatever, regional organization, fighters are found out really quick. Then what do we have here? Shi-Hung Ko versus Obon Elliott. I'm actually really looking forward to this fight. Obon Elliott from Wales on a really good run. Just KO Basil Hafez. Beat Preston Parsons by unanimous decision. Beat Val Woodburn in his debut. Beat Kaya Friedel on the Contender Series. And a guy named James Sheen. Shi-Hung Ko won on the Contender Series by unanimous decision. KO'd Alan Quinn K. Ryuta Sakurai KO'd, referee stoppage. And Jae-Woon Kim, he finished. Then, not gonna try and say his name. I like Obon Elliott. I think he'll win this fight. And yeah, I think this fight should be a fun fight if it stays standing. I think both of these guys can scrap, and they're fun on the field. I'm not saying they're the best, but they're fun. Let's see. That was the main prelim fight. Then we get to the main card. Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. Another really good fight. Muhammad Naimov beat Ofli by decision. got submitted by Felipe Lima, not a bad loss. KO'd Eric Silva, beating Nathaniel Wood, and KO'd Jamie Malarkey. Lucas for Bogdangrad, KO'd Lucas Alexander from Mount. Beat Mitch Aswell by split decision on the Contender Series. Submitted Kano, however you say it, Batista, and Breno Moreno. He KO'd with a flying knee. Got knocked out by Tom Nolan on his first time on the Contender Series. Not a bad loss. Let's see here. Nazem Zadikov versus Nicholas Mota. Zadikov has, well, he's 4-1 in his last few fights. Had a draw with Bashev. Borshev was a good fight. I haven't watched that fight since, though. Nicholas Mota beat Machete Hayseer. KO'd Tom Nolan. Had a no contest premature stoppage against Trey Ogden. Got KO'd by Manel Torres and KO'd Cameron Van Camp with a left hook and ground and pound. I like Sadikov in this fight. I think it'll be a fun scrap. I just think Sadikov, I think he does better from range. And that's mainly where I see it. I think that if it goes to the ground, I favor Sadikov. Then we move on to Worldby, returning after Fight of the Year at UFC 306 last year, where he lost to Mateus Rebecki. But it was one of the greatest fights we've ever seen. Before that, he beat Elvis Brenner. Euro Medici submitted. Hayward Charles, he KO'd on LFA, and KO'd Garcio Azario as well. Tofik Messiah, he KO'd Koji Takada, KO'd Akira Okada. Got knocked out by Alexander Chablis in Bellator. Beat Sidney Outlaw by right hook, KO in Bellator. And Roberto de Souza. I like Worldby in this fight. I think especially now that he's rested after the war he had. I like his stand up. I honestly like him anywhere the fight goes. But yeah. Then we got Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kuniev, continuing the tradition of signing these ex-PFL Bellator guys and instantly giving them number one contenders fights. Curtis Blades, he just lost to Tom Aspinall by knockout for the interim belt. KO'd Jolson Almeida, really good win to have. Jolson Almeida, he's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC right now. Got KO'd by Pavlovich. One because of the injury Tom Aspinall have. Chris Dawkins. Now, Rizvan Kuniev. He got a KO on the Contender Series. Popped literally for every steroid you can think of in the Renan Ferreira fight. Submitted Anthony Hamilton. KO'd Edvan Santos on the Contender Series. And KO'd Vladimir Danko. I think Curtis Blades should get this done. Curtis Blades, really good grappler in the division. Has been in the top 5 for like the last 8 years or something like that. But, yeah. And then we get to the top of the card. Co-main event, Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Bahamondes, however you say it. Rafael Fiziev is probably one of the most entertaining fighters we have in the UFC right now. But we know Chirag to Gaethje got injured his leg against Gamrot almost 2 years ago. But before that, KO'd RDA, KO'd Brad Riddell, and was on a really impressive win streak. Ignacio Bahamondes on the other hand just submitted Jalen Turner, knocked out Manel Torres, which is a really good win to have. Christoski Algorsi knocked out as well. He lost a decision to Rodobik Klein, who just broke into the rankings after fighting Gamrot on that shitty, shitty card. Aaron Blanchard, Macy Barber, which never even happened. And then you got Trey Ogden. I like Bahamondes in this fight. He's younger. He's 6'3" in the lightweight division, which is insane. I don't know, man. I feel like Rafael Fiziev being a Muay Thai fighter, can I really see him getting in range? I could see him knocking out Bahamondes, but it's getting inside and, you know, not saying you get caught. He could. But I think the size advantage and the reach advantage is definitely going to show. Um, but yeah, then we move on to the main event. Hopefully the main event, finally we get this fucking fight. Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree. Jamal Hill just got knocked out by Erie in January at UFC 311. I actually picked Jamal Hill to win that fight. I was very stupid too, but like he got KO'd in the second round, right? If I'm remembering the fight correctly, he got dropped at the end of the first round. You obviously have the fight where he won the title by demolishing Glover Teixeira in Brazil, where everybody in the crowd left as Glover Teixeira poured his heart out. Diego Santos he KO'd, former title challenger, and Johnny Walker he KO'd. Again, Johnny Walker had that little bit of hype to him. They said he's the next John Jones. And then he just got knocked out by everybody. Cole Roundtree probably had the best fight against Alex Pereira. I mean, you got Israel Adesanya who KO'd him, but the first two rounds of that fight, he was backing Pereira down. He was landing major strikes, and it was a matter of his body quitting him to end the fight. Then you got KOing Anthony Smith. Good win, Anthony Smith. You know, a bunch of records in the light heavyweight division, a lot of wins. You know what Anthony Smith brings up. If he's not ahead in a fight, the Lionheart doesn't really show. Chris Dawkins, he KO'd. Dustin Jacoby, he beat Westwood decision. Carl Robinson, he KO'd. I want to see Khalil Roundtree fight one of the top 10. Like, there's no way around it, even if you're the biggest. Holy shit. 71%. Majority by KO. So, with Khalil Roundtree, with it being that he's never, well, he's only fought a few people inside the top 15. And he is really fun, really talented, really good Muay Thai striker. Doesn't like grappling, which, again, it's a refresher now since every fucking fight is now a grappling match against the cage. But not the best card, not the worst card. I am looking forward to a lot of those fights. I'm looking forward to the Alban Elliott fight. I'm looking forward to the Orlov fight. Zadakov versus Moda should be interesting. And honestly, the opener Muhammad Usman versus Abdel Wahab, it's a heavyweight fight. Been of a fighting heavyweight fight. I don't see these guys breaking into the top of the division. But you never know. Anyways, that's what I wanted to cover. Yeah, you have the Sean O'Malley one where, he went back and forth with Cody Garbrandt, but it is what it is. Thank you to everyone who popped in here briefly. If you're watching this, as a video, I'm planning to do this every Wednesday. Podcast-ish show, whatever. I'm just doing this as I go, but that's what I got. Tune in next Wednesday. Yeah.